It's 8:30. Good morning. I'm Ian Crouch with Hunter News. The assault of 10 police officers in New South Wales in the past week, including 3 in the Hunter, has prompted calls for mandatory minimum sentencing for perpetrators. The Deputy Premier says he's prepared to look at the idea. Premier Gladys Berejiklian says existing penalties are tough enough. But John Barilaro says the mandatory sentencing proposal is worth considering.
If that's the sort of thing we need to do to give them more greater protection, happy to look at that. The government will make a response. I'm only one minister, I'm one deputy, just the Deputy Premier, but that's something we could raise in Cabinet and bring back in the new sitting term.
It comes as a second man involved in the alleged assault of 3 police officers at Talara on Sunday night prepares to face court. Lake Macquarie Council says 40% of its budget for next financial year is dedicated to improving the lifestyle and well-being of the community. Councillors last night approved the $395 million budget, which includes $115 million in capital works projects. $20 million will be spent on improved parks, playgrounds, sporting facilities and swim centres. Council has increased its budget deficit to $11.5 million, mainly due to increased spending to stimulate the local economy in the wake of the COVID-19 pandemic. Hunter New England Health says around 10% of the region's population has been tested at least once for COVID-19. The last confirmed locally acquired case of the virus was in mid-April. However, public health physician Dr. David Durheim is urging residents to avoid travel to Melbourne, which has several confirmed coronavirus hotspots.
We've seen COVID clusters and large numbers of unknown source COVID cases in Melbourne in the last couple of weeks. And so we would urge people to reconsider travel to Melbourne at this stage. If one has to go, if it's urgent to go, it's really important to take every measure to prevent oneself getting infected.
Management at the Coppers plant at Mayfield say corrective action has been taken following 2 alleged pollution incidents last year. The company has been ordered to pay $30,000 by the Environment Protection Authority after separate incidents in July and August 2019 involving the alleged escape of noxious gases and a chemical spill. In a statement, Operations Manager Nick Moretti says Coppers has updated procedures and installed new monitoring equipment since the incident and is working with the EPA to improve the plant's performance. Federal grants for Hunter dairy farmers are now available. The grants are part of the Energy Efficient Communities program and make $20,000 available to local dairy farmers upgrading equipment to lower emissions. Federal member for Lion, Dr. David Gillespie, says the government values the industry and its benefits to the region.
Dairy is such a value-adding industry. The local flow-on from a productive dairy farm goes well beyond getting a bowl of milk on your cornflakes. All the value-adding processing across the whole agricultural value chain, and we want to support dairy. It's a really good, nutritious product. We just want them to get a fair price.
Newcastle Museum will reopen today as COVID restrictions ease across the state. The venue will be available for booked sessions between 9:30 and 1:30 from Tuesday to Saturday, but attendees will be limited to 45 at a time. Newcastle Lord Mayor Nuatali Noam says to comply with health recommendations, many interactive activities have been cordoned off, but attractions such as the fire exhibit and popular BHP simulation are available for public viewing.
We've had very successful reopening of the Newcastle Art Gallery and our 2 major libraries at Wallsend and Newcastle. So I'm very pleased the community will once again be given the opportunity to enjoy our wonderful cultural and historic displays on offer at the Newcastle Museum.
2NURFM Sport.
Northern New South Wales NPL team Valentine have lost Spanish import Fortia Mons. Mons originally stayed with the team after the COVID-19 pandemic in the hope of getting onto the pitch later in the year, but returned home to Barcelona in April. Valentine co-coach Darren Stills says he's likely to return next year, depending on further restrictions. Newcastle Hunters coach Rex Nuttall says the team is going to have to hit the ground running in their new 2020 Waratah Basketball League season. Nuttall had his young squad ready to go in March, but the coronavirus pandemic halted proceedings on the night before the season opener. The draw is yet to be finalised, but will likely be made up of 8 or 9 games as well as finals. And Newcastle's Emily Van Egmond says it would be a huge boost for football in Australia if Australia and New Zealand secure hosting rights for the 2023 FIFA Women's World Cup. And the winning numbers in Monday Lotto are 32, 23, 13, 3, 39 and 4, and the supplementaries are 34 and 40. 2NURFM News Time, 25 to 9.